Hello, I'm Lauren Kingsland, and today I'm at the McLean Textile Gallery with Ekua Ankuma.
That's right.
Ekua is a quilt artist who is of Ghanaian heritage, and you can see that in her quilts because she uses fabric from Africa in her pieces. Wonderful, colorful pieces, and we're so thrilled to have her work here at the gallery today. Please tell us about this piece, which you will see when you come into the first main gallery.
Yes, thank you, Lauren, for having me here today.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. And I'm here to talk about this art piece. In there you can see these three figurines carrying what looks to be a pail of water or basket on their heads. This is very traditional, at least something you may see in African countries.
Yes.
Where people carefully balance things without their hands and go about their day-to-day.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
And what drew me to this was the fact that they're just very poised and beautiful, reminding us all as we go through life, ups and downs, to keep our balance.
Right.
And poise and grace.
While we are getting on with the business of life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's the piece. Certainly, I want to leave room for lots of interpretation by the audience. So in this picture, I leave it to the observer to decide if it's a basket or if it's water.
Oh.
So, but the piece is called Water at Sunset.
Water at Sunset.
But visually, that's what it is, but it does have a different meaning to it.
So Ekua, tell me about this beautiful piece. It's so charming.
Well, so the name of the piece is called Inyado, and that is in Akan, and it means sibling love. So this is modeled after my niece and nephew, currently live in New York. And it's a picture of contentment and love between siblings. Every piece of it is made with African fabric, batiks and scraps, and there's a really lovely touch of even having posts for the little girl, which is very traditional for little girls in our culture.
There are a lot of portrait pieces in this exhibit, so some of them yours, many of them by Kathleen.
Yes.
And Kathleen will talk to us about those in a few minutes. And all made with African fabric. So it's a really fresh way of using African fabric to my eyes,
Yes.
accustomed to the use of other fabrics from other sources.
Yes.
So they're very exciting. They're
Thank
very exciting. The portraits are just wonderful.
Thank
And we're so glad you're here.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. We're at another one of Ekua's beautiful quilts called Storytelling. Please fill us in. What is the story of storytelling?
Yes, so this is an abstract piece, and as you can see, there are figurines dotted all over the quilt. But if you take a closer look, you'll see there's movement, and they've got heads and arms, and it really is a tradition in our culture to pass on advice through storytelling and dance as well. So in this quilt, we're trying to depict movement. So you can see the male figurines moving around, and you can see the kids are never far behind, and obviously the other members of the family also partaking, with the very centerpiece being the matriarch of the family, who silently orchestrates harmony for all.
Oh,
so
lovely.
That's the story.
Lovely.
Right, and in the background set, if you were wondering why I chose the background that it is, this has, it's a fabric called Edinkra. They're Edinkra symbols, and they have very special meaning. Again, a lot of language is said with proverbs in Ghana, and they use a lot of the Edinkra symbols to do that. So that's why I chose.
How interesting. How interesting. Thank you. And this happens to be a wonderful little corner of the exhibit to talk about our other artist, your fellow artist. This
Yes.
is Kathleen Otoo,
This is she.
and standing in front of her own kaleidoscopic quilt, which is completely amazing. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. So, Kathleen, please tell me how you and Ekua came to be here. What's your story? The story of your partnership.
I met Ekua through her work. She's a long armor, and I wanted someone to quilt one of my big pieces. And I kept on hearing Ekua, 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 and I said, this must be Ghanaian. So I call her and asked her, are you Ghanaian? And she said yes. Apparently we've been living 7 minutes away of each other.
You're here in Great Falls?
In Falls Church.
In Falls Church.
For
How?
the past, I think, 10 years we've never met.
How
And
fabulous.
then I meet her and I remember, oh, I once met you in Staples with your puppy. And well, after that we've become very close. I'm in her house most of the time. She's calling me all the time. And we discuss our pieces most of the time.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and
How wonderful to have a sister from another mother.
yes,
Love that.
yeah,
A
that's
sister of another mother.
sister from another mother, right? And so we have, hopefully throughout the exhibit, we'll get to tell you a bit more of some of the work we've done also in Ghana.
Good.
Yes.
Very, very good. I do want to hear about the fundraising event that you had in Ghana. That's an interesting story.
Yes. So yes, so we had an event a year ago in the holidays, right around the December timeframe, and that was a fundraising event to help juveniles who were in detention, and to raise funds for them. And it was the first time we were introducing these quilts, as I'd said, to Ghana, and it was very moving that it was Kathleen's idea that we should venture into trying to obviously give back and find ways to help the juvenile groups in Ghana. So, and I think she could probably say some more as well.
Yeah, so we're thinking of training them because usually they get into these acts because they don't have anything to do. So I was thinking of getting maybe sewing machines and going down to train them.
Wonderful.
We have a lot of scraps that are discarded, and thinking of climate change and how these pieces or scraps can be put together and put use. I think that was something that had to be done.
That's wonderful. So not only making beautiful things here, but thinking about the larger world,
Yes.
the larger community. I mentioned portraiture earlier in this conversation, and here we are with one of Kathleen's portrait type quilts. So please tell us the story here.
So this is a portrait model after a baby, a mom and baby I met in the market.
Yes.
The baby was smiling, but it was so ironic because the mom was carrying a heavy load and the baby was just enjoying the ride. This is how we carry our babies back home at the back, so the mom can go about her duties.
This is the back of the mom.
The mom, yes, that's the shoulder and the arm,
and the arm,
and you have the baby,
and the baby.
and that's the baby's little shoe. He's grabbing on his shoe.
He's grabbing his shoe.
But the smile was just amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's
such detailed work there in the face. Yes, very good. So did you started with a reference photograph then?
Yes, I usually have a reference photograph to help me in completing. It takes a while because I really need to understand what I'm looking at. I'm not an artist, but professional.
I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ. You are an artist, and it's very complex, and it does take a lot of looking at something to figure out how to do it. There are half a dozen more beautiful portraits in this exhibit. So when you come, spend some time taking a look at, these are your children on the opposite wall. We won't show them to you, but you'll have to come and see them. That's your task.
Yeah.
Come and see Kathleen's other beautiful portraits. Tell me about this. This says to me, I'm really using African fabric. I can recognize some of the little maker's marks and things in here. So tell us about this.
So from one of my trips back home, I went to dressmakers. We have dressmakers dotted across the streets.
Yes.
And they usually throw their scraps away.
Okay.
But I go to them and I pick. So when I came back, I said, I need to do something with the scraps.
They're wonderful.
So you can see that I had to fussy cut some of the prints, and
to good effect. To
yes.
very good effect. Yes.
And this is what I got. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but at the end of the day, I look at it and I'm so happy with the outcome. I had to use some for the border, just to give it
to give it some balance.
Balance,
right?
yes.
It's it's a lovely composition. Did you do the quilting on this?
I did the quilting myself.
Yes,
on
very,
this. I did the
very
quilting.
lovely, very lovely. Well, thank you. It's charming. It's completely charming.
Thank you.
And next to that, we have another, perhaps a portrait. I don't know. Is this a portrait of a particular?
No,
parent,
it's not.
No,
it's not. I love animals.
Yes.
So I always want to do something that will bring up the love I have for these animals. This bird is also made from scrap fabric. You can see we have the kente cloth in the pieces of kente, which is also from my scrap bag, and everything is made from African
fabric. Lovely.
And the quilting was done on my sewing machine.
On your table,
my table
machine.
Yes.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So I am so thrilled. I hope lots of people will come and see this exhibit, because it is colorful and exciting and a fresh way of looking at the quilting tradition that we know here in Virginia, Maryland area, and yet it's a new perspective on that. So thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your work, both of you, so much. We're thrilled to have you here, and come and see.
You're welcome.
Come and see. Thanks.